Alright, so Davinci Resolve 18.5 has finally come out of beta and I wanted to share it with you, so I put together a video featuring some of my absolute favorite features in this latest version. Therefore, I put together a list of 10 of my favorite features. Let's not waste any time and dive straight into it. Firstly, this update brings a bunch of minor improvements that really enhance the overall workflow in Davinci Resolve. For instance, the first feature I want to go over, which is the color space transform swap button, is a nifty addition. Do you know how handy it can be to quickly swap one color space for another? Well, now it's just a click away, and this is gonna save you a lot of trouble doing it manually. And all you need to do is set the first color space transform node, duplicate it to a second node, and hit the swap button. And you can just edit the space as needed. And now you don't have to do it all by hand. And then we have the solution to our missing Luts problem. Now on the color tab, missing Luts can be seen right in the viewer or in a separate folder in the LUT browser. So in previous versions of Davinci Resolve, if a LUT was missing, say because you moved your project to a different computer that didn't have the LUTs installed, it could be a real hassle. You have to go find that LUT file again, reinstall it, and then manually apply it to your footage. And this can be particularly troublesome if you're working on images projects with multiple LUTs in use, or if you're collaborating with a team and not everyone has the LUT installed on their device. Alright, so number 3 is also a big feature. It's the new remote monitoring feature. So this gem allows you to stream your viewer to your iPhone, iPad or desktop computer. And this is a game changer, because when you're screen sharing via apps like Zoom or Skype, video playback can be jumpy and the colors often degrade. But now with remote monitoring, you can send a trustworthy signal to your clients when they're approving the final version of your color correction. And they can now actually see what you are seeing as well. But this is not all. Davinci Resolve has now also introduced timeline backups to the already existing project backups. So this means that you can now restore an old version of your edit without going through the long process or restoring old projects. Before, you had to export them in DRT format and then importing them back into your current project. But you don't have to do that anymore. Now instead, you just right click on the timeline and hit restore timeline backup. It's as simple as that, and it's already been a lifesaver for me. And now let's talk about a crazy feature, which is Relight OFX. So this feature helps in correcting minor lighting errors that were made during production. So it realistically simulates virtual lighting that is based on the three-dimensional layout of your scene. And while it's best used to enhance the image rather than drastically changing it, I've been impressed with its performance for a first generation feature. However, Relight OFX is quite an intricate tool, and therefore it deserves its own spotlight, which is why we're going to explore it in depth in an upcoming video, because it's one of those features that has the potential to revolutionize your edit or color grading process if used correctly. And then we have feature number 6. And I'm also very excited about this one. So it's the automatic subtitle creation feature. And this feature has been on many people's wish list for a long time, and it's finally here. So now all you have to do is just go to the timeline and click on create subtitles from audio. Then select the settings that you prefer and hit create. You can also apply all the tools and filters that are available in the inspector. So yeah, this is a huge time saver when creating subtitles. And now on to the next feature. Version 18.5 allows you to set up a separate color management for each timeline. You can now duplicate a timeline and adjust its settings based on the specific project requirements. So for example, you have one timeline set to YRGB and you want to use Resolve color management for another. So now you can duplicate the timeline and change its settings to what you need for the particular project. To do this, you have to go to timeline first, then you go to timeline settings, and in the color box uncheck use project settings and select the color science you need. And that's it, and it's such a great feature. Now, one of my favorite among the new features is export still frame. It is so simple, but it was sorely missed before. So it used to be possible to export still frames through the gallery on the color page. But that required a lot of clicks and time. And I actually use this feature quite a lot. So now it's done very simply through the file export current frame as still menu. And if you're like me and use this feature all the time, I recommend you set up a shortcut for it. To do this, go to the Davinci Resolve keyboard customizations menu. Then go to shortcut CMD and click on Control plus Option. And then make it Alt plus K. And in the corresponding menu, assign a shortcut. In my case, I set the shortcut to Control plus Shift plus E. And then I use that. So now let's go over another feature that is quite underrated and allows you to quickly sort your Power Grades album by several options. To use it, in the gallery window, call the context menu. And you can see a new menu item now that appeared in Davinci 18.5. In it, you can find several options for sorting Power Grades albums. There are sorting by name and creation date, as well as sorting descending and ascending. A small tip here is that if you want to line up your Power Grades album one by one, set the number starting from 0 on the beginning of the Power Grade album and sort by title and ascending. And also this feature is going to save you a lot of time. And finally, let's go over one of our favorite features that came in 18.5, which is audio transcription. If you haven't tried audio transcription since the beta release, you should try it again, because a lot of new features have been added. These features include additional languages, the ability to transcribe multiple clips at the same time, silence recognition, text editing, and so much more. To use this, select audio transcribe, transcribe to start transcribing, and you're done. Now you can edit the recognized text, export it, remove moments with silence, and much more. So yeah, there you have it. These are my favorite features from Davinci Resolve 18.5. And I would love to hear what your favorite features are, so drop them in the comments. In the next video, we will go in depth on some of the features like Relight OFX, so they can truly understand how to use them. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you're interested in my Luts, my products are now on a discount, so you can get them through the link in the description. And I catch you in the next video.